It's time for the Italian Grand Prix here with Ferrari. And you know what? Recently we've done well, but we need to build on it in front of the Tifosi. But due to a car that's lacking a wee bit at the top end, we may have issues this weekend. Verstappen has a grid penalty. Alonso has a grid penalty. For Sebastian Vettel also has a grid penalty. And as you can see, as the weekend goes on, it just looks like another Red Bull domination. But due to the slipstream being so overpowered, you might think we have a chance. But Leclerc, who's actually been really good in recent races, drops out in Q2, gets P11. I mean, it was close, but again, he ends up starting P13. And then as we go into Q3, Carlos Sainz finishes 10th. And starting P10 and 13th going into the race is not ideal. But with grid penalties, we'll probably start a wee bit higher up. But again, you need better. Ferrari expect better, and as we're actually starting the race, it is P10, it's P12 due to Sebastian Vettel's penalty, but we've got Perez leading for Hamilton, Russell, Ricciardo, Verstappen, Norris, Ocon, Alonso, Sainz and Albon, so maybe it'll be a non-Red Bull victor today. You never know, because the slipstream's that overpowered. I wouldn't put my money off even a McLaren doing pretty well, podium for them potentially, but there probably will be a wee bit of chaos in this race, as you can see. But it is pretty, you just got to stay in the DRS of the car ahead of you. And if you fall out of it, I think it's safe to say it's good night for you. But for us, we get stuck behind these two Clampets, who ended up taking each other out, which was very good from our point of view. But in terms of our actual race, moving on to lap 17, we just are ages behind the top two, the top 8, so to speak. And because they're constantly in the DRS, you can't do anything about it. You can't get closer, especially when your DRS ain't that good, if we're being honest. But with Pit Leclerc, he's committing P16. He's got a bit of a gap the cars ahead, so hopefully he can be able to push here and put a dent into the top guys. But as you can see, it's actually the two Red Bulls that are top of the things. Verstappen has managed to make his way up. Lando Norris currently sitting in P3. But if we look at the replay that's just brought out the VSC, the Red Bulls battle, and going in to look at that, Max Verstappen clips Sergio Perez and damages his front wing, which then prompts everyone to pit under the VSC. So us pitting Leclerc is kind of absolutely shafted us in that regard, if we're being honest. And as we move on, Leclerc gets 8th, Sainz gets 9th. But then we've actually got Danny Rick and Lewis Hamilton and Perez and George Russell, Norris, etc., all battling for the race lead. Max Verstappen down in P15. He's ruled out of this battle for the lead. But as the race went on, there was just a bit more chaos. Mick Schumacher flies off the track. Can't do an awful lot with that. In terms of us, we just get stuck. I mean, due to the DRS, and I'm not joking, that's how overpowered it is, we ended up that far behind the top 7. Insane. Because we weren't in each other's DRS till late on, and then by the time you're that far behind, you can't do anything. And plus, our tyre wear wasn't that good. But our straight line speed is abysmal. Verstappen manages to overtake both of us when we're just sitting here looking like losers at our home Grand Prix, battling for 9th and 10th against Vettel and Verstappen, who had major issues, man. Took out his teammate. And we're sitting here, and as we look at Leclerc almost takes out the back of Carlos Sainz. But as we move on, we've only a few laps to go. Not an awful lot happening in terms of this race. Sebastian Vettel trying to line up a move on us. We've got Bottas behind. Guan Yu Zhou, I think, is a wee bit further behind. So at this point, I mean, it's looking like single-digit points for Ferrari as we're on to lap 52 here. And there's just not an awful lot happening for us. But on to lap 53, Vettel, in fact, got both of us. Perez wins for Hamilton. And then we've got the McLarens in 3rd and 4th. Brilliant result for them. George Russell, P5. Then we've got Alonso and Ocon, P6 and 7. Verstappen will get 8th. Then it will be Vettel in 9th. And then it will be Carlos Sainz in P10. It's just no good enough. That's dropped us behind Hamilton and Alonso in the championship. And again, it's just, I didn't think Ferrari would fall this bad. I mean, we still sit 2nd, but I wouldn't be convinced of that place getting cemented this season. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. Next time out at Sandford, we just need to do better. And that's it.